All right, learning kangaroo setup in HCR2 is one of the most important things you can do. I am the Butler. Here we are, another day where we learn how to play HCR2 better. There's a couple things with jump shocks that are really helpful to know. Obviously, landing boost, you've got to land perfectly. To get that landing boost, it's not 100%. You can see there, I didn't actually land perfect, but you get the idea. You just have to land well. Now, one thing with jump shocks, there's a couple different ways to use them. One way is when you land, you press both pedals and you jump at the landing. Another way is to extend your jump shocks before you land, so it kind of bounces rather than jumps. And that can be highly useful in many situations, like that right there. I didn't want to wait until I bounced to jump. I didn't want to wait until I landed to jump. I wanted to bounce. Sometimes it can be hard to tell you when to do what, but the more you play, the more you're going to realize what needs to happen when. Like right there, I tried to jump right as I hit, and it didn't really get a full extension. So sometimes that happens where you try to extend your jump shocks at just the right time, but it's slightly too late, and it kind of like cramps them. They don't get any extension, and it's more like you just kind of bottom out and bounce rather than actually jumping. So sometimes each vehicle is also different. So sometimes using the bounce is actually much more advantageous than trying to jump like that I just did. It can be better, like with the what's it called? The scooter. The scooter actually does way better. It gets way more height, and is far better to utilize the jump shocks by bouncing rather than by jumping. So you extend it before you land and end up bouncing off rather than jumping off. So you have to learn the vehicles. It's a really important part of HCR2 is learning what each vehicle does and how it operates. The Super Diesel, it was probably the best kangaroo setup that it does the best. You can get the furthest scores with it or whatnot, furthest scores or distances, but it feels clunky when it hits. It kind of just feels like it's got these big balloons on its feet for wheels, right? But somehow the landing boost bit of it is so strong that it makes up for it. Now with the scooter, I noticed that the scooter the wings do not actually work very well. Whereas with the Super Diesel, this guy, the wings actually propel you forward and drive you forward. Whereas with the scooter, the wings just kind of are there and help a little bit, but they don't really pull you forward. With the hill climber, that's actually an incredible one where you can see it actively pulling your vehicle forward. So each vehicle is exceptionally different in how it handles and what it does. So take your time to get used to the different features, really, of each vehicle. Like this track is way too tight for that guy, so we'll go with the hill climb. And now notice the different way that I play with the hill climb versus the Super Diesel. This guy does a really good job of jumping up high. Ooh, missed that. But he also does a really good job of bouncing. So it's kind of I don't know that I've figured out yet how to tell you when to bounce and when to jump. But I know for a fact that when you are coming down from a really high height, when you're coming down from really high, it's almost always better to bounce than it is to jump. Like here, because it's going to come so fast you can't even see where the landing is. And so to bounce just makes it so much easier, excuse me, where you don't really have to get the timing perfect. But when you jump on the ground, you really do have to get that timing just right for it to work well. Now, right here, see that when you're going horizontally more so than you are vertically, and you're coming to a corner, it's actually can be used really well to like slingshot yourself over the corner. I'm going to extend early, way too early there. That one would have been a great place to bounce because I was coming down from a high height, gonna hit hard, and don't want to mess up that landing. So I wait until as soon as I can see the ground, bam, do the jump shocks, bounce it off. But what I was trying to say is when you have a corner that you're going to land on, try to land with your front end up a bit and your obviously back end down on the tip of the corner so that it will actually slingshot you around that corner. It works way better than trying to land flat on something like that. Hopefully I'll be able to give you a good example. And this is my favorite track for the example of, oh, messed that up. You have to learn how to watch your vehicle, where it's going, and out of the corner of your eye, watch where you want to land. So with this track, it's really about rhythm, right? Landing at the right spot, picking your next target, and then going so you can maximize your distance. So as it's going here, I'm up in the air, I'm looking, where am I going to land? And then I'm trying to guess that landing as best I can. Land early, bounce. I mean, it's not easy at all. I'm doing the talking while I'm playing the game. I just can't be bothered to spend the time to do the voiceovers and all that. I can do it, all the equipment and everything. I got 4 kids and I really enjoy spending time with them. So this is going to be the best way you can get content from me. There we go. So I'm watching out of the corner of my eye where I'm going to land. That's a good one. Bounce. Yes, now jump, bounce, whoa. There we go. This is the best way you're gonna get info from me and get the teaching and the skills that I have transferred over to you. So I hope you enjoyed that. Hope it was a good time. Hope you learned some things. I'll come back with more. Learn the kangaroo, spend the time. It's such an important part of hill climb racing too.